Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Jarrell here.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to talk about Scott Gimple and his recent tweet about the differences in the stories that are coming up in the series finale.
Yeah, so you guys know, I mean, Gimple, whenever he has an interview, he's a man of words. He's a man of deflection. It's crazy. So
we don't trust anything he says.
Yeah. So with this, he did a recent interview talking about the finale, and we know the finale of the source material is the majority of it is it's not going to work because the four major characters that were essential to the Commonwealth arc are not there. But they could, they've done some things where they've shifted some things around, and there's certain things that could feel like the same with different characters, but it's not really going to be the same. But from this article, from his comments, we're going to read the whole thing. We've only heard of a couple things, but let's keep in mind about a video that we did a while back in comments that he said a while back is he said that all of these characters are going to have a definitive ending.
Yeah.
So it's a little weird. So
yeah, and let's go into the quote.
All right,
let's do that.
Scott Gimple says about the finale, it's like a remix. Some things simply have to remix, which I think is awesome because I loved the end of the comic, but we get to see another version of it because we have to, of course. It still takes Robert Kirkman's really cool story and tells his story, but in a very different way and with a different ending. It's like the same, but different. I think the cast and main characters on the show might even be a little bigger than how the comic ended. All those characters have endings. It's a very intense last few episodes up until the finale. It's just full intensity. The throttle is open.
It's like the same, but it's different.
Yeah, it can't be the same and different at the same time.
So for those of you that are watching this right now, we did send out a tweet. I did not send out the tweet. I thought that was funny. Like a couple people said, this must be from Josh.
Yeah, I guess how it was worded, I don't know. That was me. I mostly do most of the tweeting and stuff like that.
That's the Twitter guy, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So
no, I just thought that was funny. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Is it because I've been hateful towards Gimple in videos? But so have you.
We both. Dude,
so have you.
We both have always kind of, whenever the Gimple has said something, we've always really tried to analyze what he's saying.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm getting
sense,
the Twitter questions. No, I'm joking.
Let us know in the comments, guys, why you thought that tweet was from him.
What part of it was Joshish?
Yeah.
Was it the LMAO?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm joking. But yeah, I mean,
it's a definite remix.
He's right. It has to be a remix, obviously.
It has to be.
You and me immediately will go to, okay, well, if it's the same but different, that means in my opinion, we're going to get the skip.
We're going to get a major death.
Yep, we're going to get a major death. We're going to get a skip.
We're going to have Judith reading about the story to her son, daughter.
You stole my goddamn thunder.
Sorry.
No, I'm joking. But yeah.
Well, what's the son's name going to be?
Carl. Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. But here's the big difference, and maybe this is what he's talking about, is there's no central figure for that story that she would be reading to her son, right? That she's pointing to her son that changed the world. Right?
Yep.
And that to me was like the whole purpose of telling that story, that Carl was telling that story to his child, was that, look, there was this great man that saved this world, saved our communities, and created what we're living in today. Yeah. And, what's Judy? What's Judith's story going to be? That's what I'm curious about.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Carl in the comics told that story, to his daughter, who he named Andrea, actually. And it was about, her grandfather. And that's great. But Judith, Rick's not going to die right now, so they can't do that part. So that part's not going to be the same. Another part that is kind of the same was about, Yumiko taking over Michonne's storyline of finding a lost relative, but it's not really the same because it's with a different character. It's all messed up.
Unless, do you think that we get a long enough time skip to where hear me out. Let's say our theory is true and we get what we want, which is Rick returning for the last episode.
Rick and Michonne.
Rick and Michonne. And let's say that we haven't got a definitive, like, salvation and everything is okay in Commonwealth, like a rebuilt Commonwealth. Like the way that Rick and Michonne show up, it's completely fresh off of the Civil War and riots. Okay. That means there is a community to rebuild. And that means that Rick can be that person. And that means that Judith, if there's a big enough time skip, hear me out still, she is reading that story of someone that rebuilt a community and Rick is dead still. Because you got to imagine 20 some years.
You'd say from natural causes, not
exactly
the act, not from being murdered.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean,
it could still be done.
It could still be done, guys. I mean, we get what he's saying about, we laugh because, saying it's the same but different. I mean, well, yeah, of course. But I think the deeper meaning, what Gimple is saying is, meaning the same is a lot of the story aspects of it are the same, but they're different because because they have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to be.
No, I know.
And it's just funny to hear when you hear it that way that you can't have something be the same and different at the same time. But I think I understand more of what you mean.
Right? You can have aspects of the show remain the same, but an overall ending is completely different. And maybe that's what maybe we're not even talking about the same ending. We could be talking about a very different ending altogether.
Right. I mean, I think one big aspect of how it's going to be the same is how the whole Commonwealth story really ended. Is we're seeing the rise up. We're seeing the more evilness in the show for the Commonwealth. But I think the people are going to help rise up. They're going to help stop a major war, and it's going to stop. Somebody's going to do that speech, and it's going to end, which will be the same from the comics. It's what's going to happen. But, of course, other aspects are going to be different in a major way just because of the characters. They might shift over. We've already done a video talking about who could take Rick's major death and who's that person to stand up and do it. Mercer could be the one to really stand up and do it, but I don't see him being murdered for it. The only person I thought could murder him would be Mercer, unless he gets murdered by other Shadow 8, the other only 8 Shadow agent left, which would be Shira, because we haven't seen that she's been captured or killed.
Yeah.
Just another officer kills him or something. But
you think we see more,
or maybe it's
ruthlessness from Governor Milton in these last? Look.
It really depends on how this trial goes.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think we maybe have 2 more episodes of Milton left. Maybe she gets into the finale.
I think it's going to go to the finale.
You think so?
Oh yeah, the finale is not going to be just like a peaceful
You're right.
time.
It's not going to be the show's ending.
Right. It's been confirmed. The finale is 90 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 90 minutes. So and that's with commercials. So take a little bit out with AMC Plus, but
AMC has long commercial breaks.
Yeah,
especially with The Walking Dead.
But we have AMC Plus, so we're not getting it. So, but it's definitely going into the finale. It's, they might, the first half of it will still finish up with Milton. If she does survive, if she gets killed, however they're going to do it. But, it's, again, it is going to be different. It 100% is, and it already has been, and it's been great so far. I've
said this comment before. I enjoyed this more than the source material.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the direction that they've taken. I even enjoy the brutalness that they've shown from the Commonwealth. This edition of the working camps is...
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was a good idea.
Yeah. The only thing that still, bothers us and worries us along with other people is just the limited amount of episodes we have left to the amount of story that we have left. Like, what are they going to do with what we have left? And some people feel like they're, a lot of stuff's being rushed, and I get a little bit of it. Not too much, but
I don't think it's too bad.
It's not too bad. No. It's not too bad. It's just with what's left to be done, with the rest of the rioting, with, is our group going to get into the Commonwealth, which I'm sure they are, and try to take over, try to, show the people what the Commonwealth really is, what Pamela is really doing, to get more of the citizens on their side, to get more of the other soldiers on their side, because it also seems like a lot of the soldiers are forced into doing things because they want to keep their family safe.
Yeah, and that's where Mercer needs
and
to
other
come
people.
That's where Mercer needs to come into play.
Yeah,
that's when it's been crazy. Like in the source material, multiple panels, multiple discussions of Mercer and his troops between the two, where Mercer's saying we could do things differently, we could take over, and he's saying this to his troops. But we've never had that conversation between Mercer and his troops in the show.
No, not yet, though. I think it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming because they've had to build up Mercer to really, that's why Max has gotten on him. And especially the conversation with Princess. I think he's really now starting to understand. He's like, that he has to do something.
If it wasn't Princess breaking him, which I think already did, I think he was already there with Princess.
Yeah.
It is going to be Eugene sacrificing himself for his sister that finally broke the straws.
And he's already started that scenario. So he's going to see everything that Eugene is going to do in this trial, everything that he says to make sure that nothing gets pinned on Max. He's going to truly see that, this man loves my sister. He's going to do everything he can to make sure that she doesn't get in trouble, but also expose the Commonwealth and Pamela Milton, and also Sebastian, the evil stuff that he was doing. So it's, we were always not really skeptical, but worried that because of the main characters aren't in this arc, how are they going to do things? Who are they going to transfer certain stories to? And I think they've done a good job. And I think a couple of the stories we didn't want to happen, especially, the big death. And, could there still be one, the Dwight storyline? Could that go to someone else? I did see an article of somebody talking about the finale that they think it could go to Ezekiel.
Well, I mean, let me tell you this. I don't think Ezekiel has enough time to go from a worker camp back. And would he? Would you go back to Commonwealth?
Now, not saying
after being forced into a worker camp.
Now, not saying that he's going to do the exact same thing Dwight did, is like wanting to kill Pamela. Could be a different situation, but similar.
The same situation but different.
The same situation but different.
Here's my question to you: who's going to kill him?
And that's the thing. I don't know. And that's where I disagree with the Dwight thing for Ezekiel, because none of our group would kill Ezekiel.
And the source material was our group. I might as well spoil it, right? It was Rick that killed Dwight.
Right.
And who were very close, but Dwight was falling apart. And we haven't seen Ezekiel fall apart in that way. No. Matter of fact, before this last episode, he was still in the zoo wanting to stay in the Commonwealth as his people were being possibly rounded up.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that he's going to be the type that's going to be like, no, we can take this over. I think he would have done it by now.
He would have done it by now, and there's no one in our group would kill him. So
Mercer would.
That aspect wouldn't do it. Well, he would if he had to. Like if he really thought that he was going to threaten and kill Pamela for some reason.
Ezekiel even said it himself. Them two have never gotten along.
Yeah. That's true. Well, yeah. I mean, maybe that's why the person thought of it, because Mercer could do it, in a sense, to protect the Commonwealth, in a sense. So, yeah, guys, it's I don't think there's anything else from this. Well, it is interesting how he said, I think the cast of the main characters on the show might even be a little bigger than how the comic ended.
That doesn't make any... I don't know.
Well, you have one character that didn't exist in the comics in the show, so I mean, can't really say much. And the majority of the other characters...
Well, you even have some characters that weren't even
alive in the Commonwealth.
Carol, Ezekiel, Rosita,
Father Gabriel.
Holy shit, dude. Holy crap, that's 4.
Yep. That's 4. Yeah. So, yeah, it's all different, it's all different. But we love it, but we're worried of certain aspects of how things are going to change, and, just the amount of time we have left with the story they have to really, make sure it's not feeling rushed is all we really want.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts on Gimple. Yeah, just let us know. It's fun stuff. We like talking about Gimple and his words and his deflecting. We love it.
Sure.
That's what makes us talk.
Sure. That's what makes me tweet.
Exactly. So once again, guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Jarrell.
I'm Josh.
We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.